welcome to our past raids number 170. Two. Today we're talking about the Gift from God approximation of a human cassette that came out, I'm pretty sure on September 29th, 2019. Good Lord, I'm blind. September 27th, 2019. Alright, so let's do the history. Alright, so I remember before this album, okay, well, back up a second here. When Gift from God first kind of got together, Chris Morgan sent me like the first masters, essentially, or at least the first song that they were doing. Let's Look at the Plague, I think it was, track 4, from the first album, and yeah, I was just blown away, so I ended up releasing that first album, defragmented, reformatted, defragmented, I can never remember the order. That one, the more screamo one, and then the band got a little bigger. You know, they kind of had a lot of momentum right out of the gate, but then they had some member changes to the point where the bassist moved to vocals because one of the vocalists left, and then they got a new bass player, and that's it. Oh, I guess that's it. That's not that big. So Sophia's in the band, and this incarnation of the band is the one that is still active today. I remember being at Crimea River Fest in 2017. It was the non-Murtex tour, and I was hanging out at Crimea River Fest with John and Brian from A Gift from God. And Brian, I remember being very cold, and Brian gave me his sweater, just gave me. He's like, there's 10 of these, here, take those. This is amazing, thank you so much. And while we were there, they were talking about how they were writing new songs, and I would be really stoked to hear them, and they couldn't even play them yet because they were so difficult. So I was like, whoa, I guess getting more into like the mathcore stuff, and that was 100% correct. This definitely, I don't want to say it ditches the screamo side, but it kind of pushes it aside in favor of much more chaotic, mathematical, just like chaos. It's really awesome, and I am not against the switch over at all. I do really love that first album, holds a special place. But this was a very natural and obvious progression for the band. So they released, or before they released this, they got signed to Prosthetic Records. So that was pretty sick. That was soon after, I think, Meth signed to it. And this definitely has some Meth vibes. Who else does it sound like? Me and Him, Call It Us. Yeah. I got Tony Danza, Tap Dance Extravaganza, but that's maybe a bit much. It's not that technical, but it certainly has those vibes for sure, and just like the dual vocals. We should also mention that instead of 2 higher pitched vocals like the first album had, this one, Andrew, who moved over from bass to just vocals, they have much more of a guttural, like lower register yell, bark. Gonna go with bark. And then you've got Mitchie doing the super high-pitched stuff. I think Mitchie also does some other stuff too, but I mean, when you usually hear the high-pitched stuff, I'm pretty sure it's Mitchie. So the sound there in the vocal department is a tad different too, despite having, you know, 2 of the members that were previously in the band in the earlier incarnation. So Prosthetic did 12 inches. I think there's more than one press of these, but I got that one. I don't know. Very, very cool to see Gift from God on vinyl. Now I got 1 copy left in the store of the tapes from my old personal copies because I used to keep 1 of every variant, but I don't need this. So this one's out of 50. This is the band's light blue variant. There was also 100 blue gold glitter, which I do not have anymore. Those were ZBR exclusives. Then there was 100 of these painted marble ones, and to be honest, fucking nailed the colors on this one, and I am still very, very happy with how they turned out. This copy too is very, very nice. So these are printed stickers that I just printed off my handy dandy printer and stuck them on there. So yeah, that one's not for sale. That's my copy, and that's it. I guess there was no test tips? I don't know if I did test tips at this point. This was still pretty early on. Definitely one of the with this being a 250 count tape. This was by far the most confident endeavor in terms of cassettes that ZBR had done to that point. So I guess that pretty much concludes the Out Past the Rings here. The next one, 173, is going to be the first Snag 12-inch. Wow, that seems like a really long time ago. We're on to a whole lot of new Snag stuff since. So if you haven't already, check out this album. It's fantastic. Check out the one before. Check out the new EP. It's all great. And it's all a little bit different, which is really, really cool. There's always some growth and change and evolution there, which I always appreciate. And I'll never forget Chris telling me that when he was learning how to do these guitars for this album, he purposely would write things that could not play to try to purposely get better. And holy crap, did it pay off, because like this is ridiculous. So until next time, Halloween something. Where's the knife? Where's the knife? Ah.
Thanks for watching. YouTube can't even get to the thing cause computer goes so slow. Da 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 da. Devil sings a song. My fingers are too long. Da 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 da.